All right. So I will request our participants to our panelists um, to turn on their videos and their audios, and our participants to start posting more questions if you have any. Meanwhile, the questions that we have, we will begin with them. The first question is by Mr. Grishma, and he says, if we see a special needs mother having a hard time with her child, is there any way we can offer to help without sounding condescending? I mean, this just shows the impact I think that this panel has had. Wonderful question, Mr. Grishma. Thank you so much for that. Over to panelists.
Can you say once again, Nupur, what is the question?
Yeah, he says that if we see a special needs mother having a difficult time with her child, is there any way we can offer to help without sounding condescending?
Yes, I will tell you what way. There are lots of hyperactive autistic child because I have been doing through NSS and we are helping them. If you can take out 2 hours of yours in a week, that mother can buy vegetable. That mother can go to can sleep sometimes. Please identify in the area. We are human being, na? We are social human being. So please please see around you. There are lots of mothers who need your help. Okay? Like, I'll tell you when I needed help, like reading and writing, there was, because we read through Braille and we did not know script. So people were not available. So 2-3 people realized. Then I used to pay huge amount to the tutor and everyone. Then I took other ways and saw on YouTube and took out many ways. But I am technologically sound, so I could do that. There are many people, many mothers, visually challenged mothers are there. Those who cannot teach their children in the beginning how to read and write. So please find time for yourself and do something about it. Right.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for that. So definitely, if we can maybe associate ourselves with somebody around us, or with perhaps an NGO, so that can be one step that we can take in that direction. Dr. Pathak, would you have something to say to that?
Yeah. I agree with Dr. Smriti. And one more thing, that if you cannot directly intervene into it, like there are the other social things which you can do, especially if somebody is around you like that. You know, these children just wants to play as your children. You have to allow them. You have to prepare your child that how to. It's not only with the children with special needs, even with if, like if there is any girl, that how to treat a girl. In the same manner, you have to tell your child that how to behave with such kind of a children, because they actually exhibit what you have taught in your families. What you are interjecting, they are just pouring it outside. I mean, they are the just product of you. So this is very important. And
सविता, आई टोटली एग्री. बीमारी फैलती नहीं है, डिसेबिलिटी फैलता नहीं है. जब फैलता है तो हम खुद कॉन्शियस होते हैं. प्लीज करके अपने बच्चों को अलाउ करो.
बिल्कुल कंटेजियस नहीं है, बिल्कुल कंटेजियस नहीं है. हाँ, मेंटल डिसेबिलिटी, आई मीन मेंटालिटी डिसेबिलिटी, आई से दैट इज कंटेजियस. उसको रोकने की जरूरत है.
Right. In fact, Dr. Savita, you have already answered this next question by Grishma, because his next question was that what should we tell our kids if they ask loudly about a potentially special needs child? So what exactly do we tell them? So that was his question.
Please. Yeah, Savita, you are answering. Sir, you would like to answer?
Huh.
Professor, you would like to answer?
Please carry on. Please
Yeah.
carry on.
No, please answer this question. You
No, I
are,
couldn't get. What is
yeah.
the question?
What should we tell our kids?
What should we tell our kids when they ask about a special needs child? What should a normal child be told when he or she asks about a special needs child? How do we
The
instill sensitivity in?
Yeah, the first and foremost thing we have to educate him about is that first of all, he's a child like you, neither deficient nor special nor enabled or disabled, and let him like play around or let him mingle with him without any hesitation. Then let him discover himself what could be different from him, what he is having, how he is different from him. Once he points out that, then perhaps you can tell him that, you see, your 5 fingers are not same. So God has not created even your five fingers in your hands in similar fashion. How do you expect the creatures to be same? So you are good in something, he is good in something. He is not something special or disabled or enabled. He is different. So the way you are different from others. So you have to take it that way.
Yeah, thank you so much for that, Dr. Pushti. Dr. Pathak?
Yes, I agree with.
We
Prishti.
all agree with Prishti
Yes.
sir. You have to recognize, you have to teach them like how to recognize difference between all of us. Like we are different from each other. We are unique.
Yes, yes, and the thing is that to accept diversity and the kind of the difference among people, there are different people. And second thing is that there are several exercises, sometimes we can do at our home also. Like we can ask our kids, just close your eyes and have, and even when I was child, we used to do it. And I don't know how we were doing it just for the play sake, but God knows that how was that. But sometimes we need to do such kind of things, though it should be done at the school, to realize, like, if your one hand is tied and how you are going to do everything with your left hand. And I mean, there are the certain exercises, but you don't have to do, I mean, that is the part of school, you can say. But first of all, children should have the proper knowledge of biology. It's a biological thing, I mean, and whatever is biological is not something, it's not acquired, it's you got it. It is gifted. Biology is something you got it. Biology is not your own. There is no contribution of you. So they should be taught proper biology, and the rest of the things are the cultural things. How we are talking in the family, how we are introducing, and you will find that even the children are more, friendly with such kind of a children. I mean, and they are very open also. Whatever they are feeling, they will say, and they don't have any hidden sort of thing, and automatically they will be a friend of them. It's we are who do lots of manipulations, not the children. So children should be taught in a very, I mean, you tell them biology, you tell them that there are different people in the society, and this is also a kind of a difference. So that is
So
possible.
can we go to next question, Nupur?
Yeah, sure. Unless Dr. Pakiza has something to say?
Yes, ma'am, you have to put something else. I'm really sorry.
No, I agree with all of you. I just want to say that we just have the interactions. We should just have the involvement. If we interact, only then we will be able to know that say they are like us. All kids, all children, they are, say, like in case of my daughter, when some girls or boys become friend of hers, then they say they realize that she interact in a very normal manner, normal way. So when you interact, when you involve, when you think that they are like you, and you start speaking with, you start interacting with them, then you automatically say, no matter what type of disability they have, there will say there must be certain things on which they will say give you, respond you, and say I want to respond one thing on which Smriti was talking, that say in my daughter's case, she is a visually challenged, so she need a writer initially. So what happened is, this is for all the young lot or the parents of young lot, that when she appeared in her 10th class board, when she appeared in her 12th class board, the girl who has written, she was a junior to him at that time. Same is the case when she was say doing her graduation and post graduation. Those students who have written her say answers, her examinations, they came to know 1 year advance that how the questions are to be, they can be, how, what type of questions are being asked, what type. So at one time, say when she was young, we had a very, say, huge problem of having some writer. But when students started realizing this, say many people want to write for her. When she appeared in UGC NET, the person who wants to appear in UGC NET, he wrote her exams. So you learn a lot if you interact, and if you say have dealing with these. It's not that only you are helping yourself also. Say, can you imagine a person who wants to say, who is in class 11th and he or she is writing for a student for class 12th. So उसको एकदम से first hand experience हो जाता है बोर्ड का.
बिल्कुल ठीक बात मैम, आपने बहुत अच्छा
So
point.
it's not that only for the kids, for the students, for the welfare of society. This is for yourself also.
I totally agree, ma'am.
Absolutely. We go to the next question, which is by अजीत सिंह तोमर. उनका सवाल प्रफुल्ल सर से है. वो कहते हैं, मेरा सवाल प्रफुल्ल सर से है कि एक सेरेब्रल पॉल्सी, जो कि स्पास्टिक बच्चा जब बॉर्डर लाइन आए, क्यों केवल पर हो, सॉरी, जब वो बॉर्डर लाइन IQ लेवल पर हो, तो उसके लिए किस प्रकार की एजुकेशन अधिक प्रभावी रहती है, क्योंकि वो MR बच्चों के साथ कंफर्टेबल महसूस नहीं करता है. So, Dr. Praful, this is a question particularly to you, if you are here. Or if any one of our panelists would want to respond to that. So this is about a cerebral palsy. I think there was a network issue when he. Okay, Sir is here.
Sir, this is question for you only, so you have to answer this question.
Okay.
So we request
So,
you.
are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whenever you are evaluating a child for the IQ, that depends where you are getting him or her evaluated. So there are many parameters on which the holistic evaluation is there. And once you come to know that this child can do reasonably well in a mainstream school, then your first effort should be to mainstream him. So directly the schools are still, are very reserved about taking a child who is branded as spastic. Because cerebral palsy is like 1,000 types of cerebral palsy, 1,000 categories could be there, subcategories could be there, like autistic also. So there may be some element in which he will be excelling, some element in which he will not be. Like he may be having very good memory power, he might require a writer, but he may not be able to write himself. Like my child, he cannot write very fast, but he can memorize, he can dictate like you and me, better than me rather. So in that situation, the school authorities have to be sensitized and the school administration have to be sensitized. Okay, you admit him to the mainstream. And there is a Right to Disability Act. They cannot deny you the admission. And once you make it clear that he can do well in the mainstream, he can. I mean, you have a right to get admitted him in the mainstream school. So there is no doubt about that. And you are talking about MR. This MR is a very pejorative word. It's not mental retardation. It's basically different degrees of mental development. Like one may be, one may not be that much, his IQ may not be that high, but he might be a good musician, a good actor. So every child, the attempt should be to mainstream every child the best possible way it can be. If it is a borderline case, it is all the more the effort should be to mainstream him. And this is up to the administration and up to your concern. I mean, it's about asserting your right. You have to go to the right forum, like the way Smriti went to NGO or something like that. If somebody is not admitting the child, then you have a right to go to even court of law to assert your right. So that should be the situation.
Thank you for that response, Dr. Pushti. Next question is by Khushbu Soni, and she asks, there was a case that came out recently where a mother of a child with multiple disabilities killed her son, whom she had loved a lot, and she surrendered herself to the police. Later, the doctors diagnosed that she was battling anxiety and depression and could not deal with the pressure of caring for a heavily dependent child and her own mental health. So she says that can the panelists also discuss about the mental exhaustion that the primary caretakers go through? And
Oh,
if
yes. Oh, yes.
and
It
if
is, yeah, it is quite traumatic.
I would like to answer this question.
Yeah.
If you want to. You see, that is the first thing to attempt. Smriti is a bright example. She herself being, differently able, usually challenge how she's taking care of the other children. I mean, another child, child of her who is also like temporarily, you can say, not able. So what I suggest is, the first thing would be to give courage, counseling, and strength to the parents. The first brunt actually falls on the parent in the first place, because unless the caregiver or the parent is strong enough, the child can never do well. You see the case history of 4 of us, 5 of us. Definitely, somewhere we have been very strong, determined. That's why the child is doing well or is likely to do well. But there may be millions in the countryside when this is being treated as a disease, which is people are ostracized even in the rural India. They deem it as a curse, and where the natural logical fallout will be the parent will definitely break down, and suicide is not uncommon, not unexpected. So the first thing is to how to empower, strengthen, encourage, counsel, and give the maximum support to the parents, whomever you come across. Suppose you are a teacher, then you have to be equally empathetic towards the parent of a disabled child. Suppose you are a administrator, then only you can realize you have to step into their shoes and really think about them, instead of giving them something like lip service. That is not the way to go about. So to counsel parents is the paramount importance. Then only the child can come. If the parent herself or himself breaks down, definitely the child also will break down one day. So that is the thing. And there are many ways to go about it. Not only counseling, but also they have to be aware of the rights of the disabled. They know where to go, what to do, where to assert the right. They have to go to different NGOs, different like-minded people. There are a lot of tools and a lot of avenues are available now. They have to be aware of that. They have to be educated about that. This is our responsibility to educate them, to make them strong. There should not be a situation when they should seek for it. Rather, that should be coming to them seamlessly. All the strength, all the encouragement, all the paths. Because sometimes they're pitted against a wall. This is the end of the world. they should not feel like that. If they feel like that, definitely they will, think of the drastic steps. That's what I think.
और मोर ओवर सर, किसी पर कमेंट मत करो कि उसका दिल टूट जाए, और अगर एनकरेज नहीं कर सकते तो प्लीज करके डिस्करेज मत करो.
Commenting is a criminal offense. I mean, you can't,
Yeah.
like, it's akin to criminal offense.
Absolutely. Very rightly pointed out, Dr. Pushti, that counseling is definitely one way, and keeping strong both the parent and the child is equally important, because the parent forms the fulcrum of the child's strength. So thank you so much for that. Will our other panelists have something to say to that? Will you want to respond?
I have same opinion about it, the way sir says.
Yeah. Okay, then we can go to Dr. Samad. Yeah.
Yes. So far as the multiple disability is concerned, Smriti may know this, that the awareness is also very important. Counseling is one thing, and making people aware that there are various organizations who deal such type of kids, children. Like I know that I have seen myself. Imagine about a child who is blind and deaf and dumb. And even then, there were teachers, the parents were there, the teachers were there, who were looking after, educating those child. Sector 5, RK Puram, have a multi-disability unit. So there must be some campaign awareness programs also, that these multiple disabled child can also, and they perform, believe me, I have seen myself that they organize, every year they organize a program in the well-known South Delhi auditorium. And that program, various events are being organized by the teachers, but the performers or the participants were the multiple disabled child. It's not that only blind students, but multiple disability. So definitely lot of support system is required, but I just want to ask from such type of parents that I have, last year only, in our society, there was a kid who had this terminal cancer disease. He was just, I think, 6 or 7 years old, and he died. Now, what will happen to the parents? Now, if they have the courage, क्या कर सकते हैं हम? अगर ये डाल दी है सिचुएशन, सो वी हैव टू फेस दिस सिचुएशन. सो क्या होगा? ऐसा होगा कि मदर से दैट चाइल्ड वाज द क्वाइट नॉर्मल चाइल्ड, कुछ नहीं, नथिंग, बट हो जाता है. सो हो जाता है. अगर मल्टीपल डिसेबिलिटी है तो फेस करनी है ना. तो वो उसके लिए अवेयरनेस प्रोग्राम्स, मेरे ख्याल से थोड़ा सा अवेयरनेस कैंपेन्स होने चाहिए. काउंसलिंग इज no doubt is very helpful for such parents. I myself was inspired to see such kids in that association, and that is why I realized I have had this feeling कि अगर if they can do, why can't my daughter and I can do. So ये जो चीज होती है, ये इस तरह की जो प्रोग्राम्स या इस तरह की जो स्टोरीज हैं, उनको अगर हम हाईलाइट करें तो हो सकता है कुछ पेरेंट्स को जो है वो एनकरेज किया जा सके.
और मैम दूसरी चीज ये है कि काउंसलिंग तब करो जब तुम्हें चीजों के बारे में पता हो. प्लीज डोंट काउंसल when you don't know. That is like
counsel doesn't mean sympathy. No.
काउंसलिंग तब करो जब तुम्हें पता है कि क्या बोल रहे हो.
Without knowledge is a very dangerous thing.
Dr. Pakiza, overall there is a kind of alienation. ज्यादातर लोग alienated है. अभी if you look at the society,
yes.
overall
नहीं तो हमें तो रोज काउंसलिंग करने के लिए लोग आ जाते थे, रोज.
Yes.
Oh no, don't ask me.
So,
To counsel
हमें
when
डिस्करेज करने
you
के
know.
लिए आते थे,
Yes, ma'am.
Nritti.
Yeah.
हमें डिस्करेज करने के लिए आते थे. लाइफ वाज नॉट स्मूथ. और किसी भी पेरेंट की या केयर टेकर की लाइफ, चाइल्ड की तो जो हो वो स्मूथ नहीं होती, बट है तो है.
बिल्कुल.
Very good. Dr. Pathak, you were making a point.
I just wanted to say that it's, that there is overall scenario of alienation. People are alienated whether they have this issue or not. So we have to understand. And the second thing is onus is always on the women. That is one also very important thing. That finally you have to take care of everything. Then you have to sacrifice your job. Then you have to see your child. And even her, upbringing is like that, that she solely feels responsible, that she's the one who is responsible for all these things. So what is important that we have to, anyhow, we have to create such kind of a group where people can easily interact on all these issues. And second important thing I want to tell you, never hesitate to take your child into any public place. I have seen parents, those who stopped, going to weddings, they don't go to parties, they don't go to the, neighbors. Why? Hamara to bachcha hai aisa. I mean, it's not the society which is coming at front of you. It's the you who has created such a huge wall at front of you that you cannot cross it.
ऐसा नहीं है Savita. It's not true. I don't agree with you here. Because what happens, मैं अपने बच्चे को, देखो मुझे पार्टीज में जाना बहुत पसंद था. Now I have limited myself. And I'll tell you why I have limited myself. Right? Like I go to people whom I like. I don't go to everyone's party now. Okay? क्यों? क्योंकि ऐसा था कि everybody will, अभी तक ठीक नहीं हुआ. बच्चे के सामने बोल रहे हैं, बच्चा कितना डिस्करेज हो रहा है. She is not looking at anyone. 2-3 days she would be upset about like whole thing, that what you have asked, right? Okay, please be like thoda to sensitive ho jao. Where is the thing, So this is the thing. So it doesn't happen, and I used to go to everyone. मतलब कहीं की भी किसी भी जगह के कहीं से भी मैं चली जाती थी. But now I choose where I have to go.
No,
I don't go everywhere.
that is true. That is true, ma'am. And that is another, aspect of this entire thing, that we have to be very selective. That is also, but there is, there is certain thing that I know one of my friend that who doesn't go out. I mean, it's not so, it's not even not to their very close relatives. And that way they are, I mean, so much confined in their house. And I was, talking, it is pertaining to the incident which has taken place, that how overall, as a mother, you have to come out from that. We have to create a group where those who are equally having the same kind of experience. We have to have the doctors also. We have to have the places. We have to search for it there. We have to make it some way out of it. If we are continuously, just enwrapped in art, sort of, whether it is a guilt or the kind of the society which society has imposed on us, if we are into it, it is a vicious cycle. It will ultimately kill you, and it will kill. Yeah. So that is, I think, is important.
Actually, I'll add one thing more. When a child is born to you with that, or you adopt a child like that, so it's not that it comes to you by choice. It is given to you. So the situation is given to you if you believe in God, by God, or by destiny. So the child's destiny is now combined with your destiny. That is the collective destiny, combined destiny. And once the destiny is combined, you have to fight like the child. In the sense, God has chosen you because you have that kind of grit, that determination, that kind of conviction to bring up the child to the level in which he should or she should be. So that means even if you are getting criticisms or apathy, that should not deter you. You should always break those cycles and break free of those cycles, and as much as possible, you should go out in search of the child's welfare. So this artificial, and one more thing, you should not be vulnerable. Like some people, they show pseudo sympathy. Pseudo sympathy, you should be very careful. they're most dangerous people. I mean, they'll show you pseudo sympathy because you may be the target. Maybe they will get something done through you by showing pseudo sympathy. The issue and short term, short term approach, short term things to life. You should be very careful about those people also. That means you have to be like knobs of iron and muscles of steel, and the brain should be like a razor sharp to discriminate and to to plot through. So it's not a very easy thing. It requires the highest determination and highest kind of self-esteem to raise a child like that and bring him or her to the pinnacle of success for which the God has chosen you, the destiny has chosen you. That requires special effort. I mean, you have to accept that. That may involve compromise your career, doesn't matter. That may involve quitting your job, doesn't matter. Because God has chosen you or destiny has chosen you to be the guardian of the child, you have to do everything to give the child the best. And that's the approach.
Nupur,
Yes,
so we
ma'am.
should go with the question now faster because my surprise, as I have promised to everyone, is waiting for everyone.
Oh,
Right?
yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't think if I can do justice because there are so many wonderful longish comments. So I will ask you to tell me that do I take
Two, three
one
questions.
more
No, 2, 3
or
questions
do I
you
take
compile. 2, 3 questions you compile together.
Okay. I think this question is very important by Chandrakala Deyali, Dr. Chandrakala. She says that the special children are being beaten up to make them learn. And I witnessed this as a student in my allocated agency. So, do we have some law to protect the special children against physical abuse to learn life skills?
There is law, 2016 RPD law, that says that you cannot physically harass them, and that is crime, that is punishable crime. There is law for that. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for that, Dr. Smriti. Dr. Pratima also has a very, very appreciative comment. Then we have multiple comments that I think maybe we'll run short of time, but everybody is really, really appreciative, and they're saying that how it's been very inspiring. It has been a very, very moving session for all the participants as well. So thank you so much to all the panelists for sharing their thoughts, for sharing their experiences. I know that it is very difficult to talk about such things sometimes on a public platform, but hats off to all of you for sharing your thoughts.
I have chosen the panelist who can talk about it.
Absolutely.
And it is necessary to talk about it.
Yeah. So our sincere gratitude to all our panelists for the day, to all our participants also for being here. So now over to Smriti ma'am for the surprise that you have.
First I would thank all the panelists.
Yeah.
Who especially to Praful sir. On my request, you joined this meeting, and this especially to Praful sir and Pakiza ma'am. In such a short notice, I requested you, and you people joined. And that was like, I'm really grateful to you, and and we went little personal, a little everywhere, and we discussed. But we wanted to bring this idea. We know that it is not justice to talk about all the disability in one go, but such as the time was allowing us, and we did discuss about. Otherwise, caregiver of visually challenged, caregiver of orthopedic challenge, caregiver of people who are with age retention, mental disability, and all these things should be given separate session, and we should realize each other problem, but such is the time. So we discuss in the panel way, and we wanted to know each other's view. And we did share a lot. I hope you all enjoyed and you all learned. And I request everyone to be good colleague, good neighbor, and supportive neighbor. Not only to person who is suffering with disability, their children are suffering with disability, not only to them, but there can be many problems. You don't know muskurahat ke piche kya hai, right? So we have to be good colleagues to everyone, and we have to try and support. कम से कम try करो बात करने की. Sometimes You cannot counsel. Sometimes you just can listen to people, and that will reduce their pain. एक अमेरिका में डॉक्टर है, विजुअली चैलेंज है, so he was asked, he's heart surgeon, so he was asked, how do you treat people? He said कि मैं treat करता हूँ by listening. 1983, since he is practicing, and he says that half of the disease is cured when I listen to patient. So I request everyone to listen to your neighbor, listen to your colleagues, listen to your people, because there are lots of things which we don't know can go with everyone. Thank you so much, all the panelists. Really love you and really appreciate the time you have taken out. I can understand Professor must be having his end session. Pakiza ma'am was too busy with her exam nodal officer duty, and still you have joined and you have spent your precious time. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank
And now surprise time has come. Khushbu, please start your screen sharing. And you will be getting surprised.
Yes.
We are going to show you movie.